I'm Charlie Tingles, and welcome to a rambling video. If you're a frequent flyer around here, you'll know that this is different to my normal content. I'm normally doing role plays, and that's what my bread and butter is. But today, I thought I'd take it down a notch and relax a little bit. So today is a rambling, chatting about my favourite movies video. And if you guys like this sort of content, feel free to let me know in the comments below. And if you're not subscribed, if you could do, that'd be awesome. So, first off, how is everyone? I hope you're doing amazing. I'm doing well, and I just want to say thank you all so much for your kind comments since I posted my first video in a while. It really does encourage me so much, and I appreciate the continued support that I receive throughout making content here on YouTube. This video is a little bit more unscripted, so do bear with me a little bit here, because it will be a little bit of a waffling, but I think that's kind of the idea, isn't it? So, without further ado, as I said, today's video is about my sort of favourite movies and TV shows. Now, I'm pretty sure in previous rambling videos I've mentioned some of my favourite movies, and in this video I'm just going to kind of go into those a little more, as I want to put a bit more detail, maybe give some reasons why I made my decisions. I do want to preface this with the fact that a lot of my friends come to me with questions to do with particular movies in pop culture and modern settings, and ask me details about the movie and who played what character, because that's the kind of thing that I will know and remember for whatever reason when it comes to a lot of these movies. They're movies that have burned their way into my brain because I've probably watched them over 15 times each, easily, and some of them are even 2-3 times that. So let's get on. So the very first, at the top of the list, for very good reason, is the MCU. Now, in particular, we are talking Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3, the Infinity Saga. Phase 3, yeah. I've just got a list here in front of me, and that's what I wanted to confirm. So yeah, Phase 3 is where that ends, because the Infinity Saga, so being from the first Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk movies to Infinity War and Endgame, was a absolute perfect construction of cinematic lore and characters and a movie universe that I don't think can ever be taken down from what it created. I saw pretty much every single one of those movies in the cinema, I think. Maybe the first couple I was a bit young to see, because I think when the original Iron Man and Thor and all that came out, I was sort of 10, 11 years old. So it'd be a bit, I couldn't go to the cinema on my own, so it probably would have been on my list here. Civil War, I think, was the first one I saw in the cinema, maybe. No, that's a lie. No, I saw the first. I think I saw actually most of them with my parents. Looking back at the list, I think from maybe I think it would have been from the first Avengers now that I look at the list. Yeah, I think we saw the first Avengers in cinema, and then I predated that with watching the other ones, and then all the others we saw in the cinema. I think I saw some of them with my friends after school, because there was cinema near our school. And it has just cemented itself with me as the greatest movie sequence that has ever been created. I know a lot of people disagree with that, and I'm sure there's some people who are completely lore driven from the comics that also disagree, and that's fair enough. I'm a movie nerd, I'm not a comic nerd, and I'll be the first to say that. Like, I like some of the comic stuff, but it's not something I ever had when I was a kid, or really had growing up at all, to be honest. So I've always been movies first, and there's some other bits in here that we'll get into where if there's a movie version of something compared to a book, graphic novel, comic book, I'm going to go for the movie. Just because I much prefer watching things than reading them. I'll be honest. Maybe I'm lazy, I don't know. But for me, it's just a preferred medium of getting that insane sort of creative mindset. I think that's where my brain's going. But I'm gonna try to rank the, how many is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. I think 23 movies, if I've counted that correctly. So I'm going to try and rank those as I see my sort of favourite band of movies, my mid-favourite and then my least favourite, and then, go into them. So from watching since I was a kid, I think the original Iron Man, the original Avengers, the original Captain America, I think you have to respect the first versions of the movies, because those are what cemented these characters, right? So your Iron Man, your Captain America, and your Thor. Obviously, the Incredible Hulk is a middle of the room one because Ed Norton didn't play the Hulk anymore. I don't get me wrong, I think it's a great movie and I respect it as a movie, and obviously we've got Abomination in the MCU, so the movie's there, obviously, but it's a good movie nonetheless. So I think the first 6 movies that Marvel did were really good. The week 2 were definitely Iron Man 2, and I think maybe Thor. Like, I really enjoyed the first Thor movie, but against the others, I don't think Thor holds up nearly as well, personally. Like, I really enjoy it, but I don't know. If I was going to put one of those movies on, it wouldn't be in my top 3 or 4 choices of those. I think I'd probably watch Iron Man 2 before I'd watch Thor, to be honest. But I mean, the first Captain America, amazing movie. The first Iron Man is in my top 5 favourite movies of all time. Incredible movie. I love it. I love how it makes you feel when you're watching it. And I think just overall, really cool movie. And it's like every person's dream if you're in like the technical world or engineering world. Like, you see that movie and think, oh, I'd love to be able to do that. So really, it has made its way into my top 5 for sure. And then in phase 2, I'll be honest with you, The Winter Soldier and Age of Ultron are the only 2 decent movies in there. I'm sure that's going to upset a lot of people, but like Iron Man 3, I like it, I enjoy it as a movie, but it's a bit weak. As I say, I enjoy it, but it's a bit of a weak movie. Dark World, do we even need to talk about it? Guardians of the Galaxy, good movie, I enjoy it, I like it. It doesn't hold up as a prequel movie for me. And maybe that's because I'm treating it with different... I shouldn't be putting rose-tinted glasses on for that one. I like it, and to be fair, I'd say out of the 6 in phase 2, Guardians would be on the list in the top 3 of those. And then I think Ant-Man will be a 4th. It would go Age of Ultron, Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man, Iron Man 3, Dark World somewhere. And then you got phase 3, which you've got a lot of movies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got 11 movies. Now that's a lot of movies to pick from, and I think you'll find, for me, there's 1, 2. There's only 3 movies in there that are lesser hits, but nearly all of them, in fact pretty much all of them, are absolutely spot on movies. I'd say Captain America Civil War, incredible movie. I've watched that probably close to like the most. I think I've probably watched maybe the Avengers movies and Iron Man 1 the most overall, but that comes up there for sure. Doctor Strange, incredible movie, I really enjoy it. It's definitely for me a bit of a... I definitely struggle to watch it sometimes. I get a little bit sort of bored and like, oh, can we get to like the fun bit? But nonetheless, good movie. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 starts really strong. I enjoy the start. And then we meet Ego, and then I just get a bit bored and a bit sick of it, I'll be honest. I'm not a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Really not. Spider-Man Homecoming, excellent movie. I like the fact that it wasn't a prequel to Spider-Man. We've seen that done. And we get a How Does Peter Live with the Powers movie. So I think that's a really good movie. And I think everyone can agree Tom Holland's Spider-Man is incredible. And then you've got Thor Ragnarok, best Thor, as everyone knows. Elite Thor. Black Panther, incredible movie. Love it. You get a really good idea of kind of a prequel without it being a prequel. So that's a really nice sort of clean movie for me. I love it. I really do like the Black Panther movie. And then you've got Infinity War. That's probably my second most watched Avengers movie because it's just so good. So much going on. You get so much information in a short span of time. It's great. And then you've got Ant-Man and the Wasp. Now I quite enjoy Ant-Man and the Wasp as a movie. You get a lot of information, and without that movie we wouldn't get Endgame. So I think you have to pay dues to that movie for what it means in the MCU, but it doesn't mean that there aren't some weak aspects to the movie for sure. But overall, I really quite like it. I find Ant-Man quite a funny character, and I quite like Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. I think he plays the role really well, and Evangeline Lilly as Wasp, also amazing. So I think overall it's a really good movie. Captain Marvel. I enjoy this movie, and I think Brie Larson plays Captain Marvel really, really well. And I like the fact we see S.H.I.E.L.D. in its early days, and we get that kind of backstory to Coulson and Fury, and we meet all these characters that we've known in the future, but we see them as they were, and I really like that. I just feel that, now I never watched Captain Marvel in the comics, so I don't know how her powers come about, how it should be written, but for me, they didn't give her the arc she deserved. Like, I feel like they could have given her an arc of a much stronger character, like, not in physical strength, in like mental strength, because the way I view it is sort of like the whole movie, she's the most powerful person on the screen. That never changes, and I think if you're the most powerful person the whole time, you don't have much character development. Now, that's coming from me. I'm sure people have a different opinion, and that's fair enough. I just feel that if they'd really tried, I think they could have delivered a much better movie for the character. Because I feel like, from what I've heard online, that character deserves a better portrayal from the writing standpoint. The acting and the delivered movie, I still enjoy, and I think it's a good movie. I just think they didn't write it as well as they could have. Avengers Endgame, I mean, come on. It made me cry. It made me have hair stand up on the back of my neck for hours. It made me have goosebumps. It made me cheer. An emotional roller coaster and an amazing movie. Even now, I can barely watch parts of it without getting a tear in my eye, let's be honest. I think we can all agree on that. And it was a perfect end for 11 years of movies being made. You know, incredible end to the franchise. And then Spider-Man Far From Home, a good movie, but a bit long-winded, I felt. Watching it for the first time was really, really nice, and like the twist was really interesting, but I think how they played it, I just wasn't a fan. I don't know. I don't know. I struggle to keep watching it. I think I get a bit bored with Spider-Man playing a weak character. I know that sounds a bit odd, but like, and I get that's like the character development they're trying to give. It's like he's struggling with this power, but he wants to be normal, and he misses Tony, and like it's getting his emotions all over the way. And then he kind of gets to that point where he's back, he's got his spidey senses back, and then they just flip it again. But then I really like No Way Home. I think that's an incredible movie, so, you know, we'll see where that franchise goes. And yeah, that's my lowdown on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let me know what you think. If you didn't agree with anything I said, that's completely fair. Put it in the comments below. I'd be happy to converse with you. I'm not here to have arguments. I'm here to converse for people that have two opinions. At the end of the day, they're movies. If you like them, you like them. If you don't, you don't. However, I think an honourable mention from the next Phase 4 saga for me is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I think that is better than some of the movies in the original 3 phases, I'll be honest. It's such an amazing movie. I've watched it quite a few times since it's come out, more than I've watched some of the pre-Endgame movies. And I think that just is a testament to a very well-made movie, and I really hope they do more with that character. Like, they've teed up so much more, and I'm really hopeful more gets done with that character, because it's a really good character. Right. We're not going to have nearly that much detail on the next bits. The next bits are just going to be talking points, but that's like my real focus and my real love is the MCU stuff. So next on my list is Star Wars movies. I think everyone can attest to maybe liking one or two, but I think not everyone's a fan. I know even my dad, who would have been around when they originally came out, he's not a massive Star Wars fan. Like, it's not his kind of movie, and I think there's a lot of people that can attest to having the same opinion. I think for me, because I grew up with them, I prefer the prequels than the originals. I think the originals are an incredible piece of cinema, considering when they were made. But if I'm watching them now, I struggle with out-of-date movie technology. Don't get me wrong, like, I understand at that time that doesn't, it can't be made. And I really respect what they achieved in the movie they made. Like, you can't do anything but respect what was created. However, I think if you've got things like the prequels that have got modern day CGI, and like the way they evolved those movies in not that much time, let's be honest, I think you have to respect the prequels for that as well. And I think I prefer the prequels in the characters they have to offer. I like them more. And Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan is just undefeated. So I think for me, the original three are just genuinely better movies for someone, I think, maybe in my age group. And then the sequels are just, they're epic bits of cinema. They are not Star Wars movies. Like, there's some aspects I really enjoy, and again, where they've brung that world into this new era of movie making, I really like what they managed to do with it all, and the new feats of CGI and everything. But I just really, really struggle with the stories they've used, to be honest with you. I like Rey, I like Finn, and I do like some of the characters, but they're just a bit of a weak movie, and I think there's some lazy writing going on there. General Snoke, who's meant to be this super powerful Darth, couldn't tell there was some force being used around him and he got killed. Like, there's just some aspects that I think are a bit weak for me. It's been a while since I watched those three sequels, and maybe I'd have a different opinion. But I watched them in the cinema. They were excellent in the cinema as a visual stimulus. But as a connecting movie, I just struggle to see they hold up. Now, Harry Potter. I am a huge Harry Potter movie fan. I have never read the books. I started reading the first one when I was in high school, and I think I made it about 40 pages deep. And I was like, I can just go and watch the movie and I'd be having more fun. I like reading, but when I envisage a book, I envisage it as a movie. And obviously if there's not a movie of the book, that's very different. The envisagement, if that's a word, is my creation. when there is a movie of something, all I see is the movie in my head. And I think for me that takes away from me trying to read the book, because I'm instantly like, well, I can get this sense of wonder and awe watching the movie, which I definitely feel more engaged in. I think because you get the visual, and for me, just reading the book isn't the one. Like, I like reading. I've read lots of books. Well, I said lots. I've read some books, but I'm one of these generations that is lazy when it comes to reading. Although, ironically, I'd like to write my own book, but I think for me, I'm ticker taping the movie that I want that book to be before I've made the movie, if that makes sense, which is probably the complete wrong way to go around it, but yeah, I think for me, don't get me wrong, I've listened to those audiobooks, or at least some of them, of the movies, and I know you miss a lot. I know there's more details in the books than the movies, and I'm sure that you get a much bigger universe created for you. However, I think the visuals created by a movie that are transposed from a book give me a much more accurate image of what a book is trying to portray, if that made sense. You know, you've got the actual visual there of what this character is meant to be. I get that books are independent. You know, your version of this book in your head versus this version are pretty slightly different. Now, some are definitive, some attributes are definitive, like Ronald Weasley being ginger. I'm pretty sure that's definitive. Now, on a similar note, Lord of the Rings, again, I've seen the movies and I've never read the books, and those books look scary, and I think I'd cry before I read them. There looks like so much going on, and I think, you know, there's a testament there that, like, the movies are almost a difficult watch because there is just so much detail to them. And, you know, the fact that that's in word and I've got to build that entire universe in my head, I think for me it's just scary. So I'm going to stick to the movies. I think for me, I find The Hobbits an easier watch because it's a bit more of a relaxing take on that universe. I think there's a lot less universe to build in a short space of time, is how I see it. So let's get some more quick fire ones done. The Fast franchise. Probably unpopular opinion. I like them. Are they well constructed, amazing movies like your Marvels, like your Lord of the Rings, like Harry Potter, like those movies? No. However, they're fun, they're entertaining, and they're ridiculous. And I'll be honest, sometimes that's what I need. I need something that I can put on that has no lore associated with it. I'm not going to go online and see 8 different opinions on why they should have chosen a different coloured scarf for someone because their character in the book prefers this shade. Things like that. It's an easy watch with no need to be accurate, and sometimes that's great. Yes, they're ridiculous and shocking and abysmal, and I love them for that. I do think they need to do more spin-offs like they did Hobbs and Shaw. because I think the Hoppers and Shaw movie was better than most of what they put out in the last 5 years. I think it's an incredible spin-off, and The Rock and Jason Statham work very well on screen, so I'd be pro more of those. And then on a similar note to the start, DC movies. Now, obviously you've got quite a lot of DC movies. You've got the DCU, which has crumbled and died, but I liked it. It started really well. I think, obviously, everyone can agree, and if you don't agree, you are wrong, I'm afraid, in this scenario. Henry Cavill as Batman. I'm going to jump out the window. Henry Cavill as Superman is undeniably the greatest thing that cinema has ever done. And the fact that that's gone now is ridiculous. And even Ben Affleck as Batman, I think, worked. I really liked Ben Affleck as Batman. I think you got a intelligent but gritty, but still being that sort of playboy vibe that Bruce Wayne had. You got that in Ben Affleck, and I think the Batman he was portraying, being absolutely jacked, was right, because Batman beat the out of everyone, and unless you're that big, you're going to struggle to beat the shit out of some people. So I think I liked him and then Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, I think she did well. I think she played the character well. I liked the first Wonder Woman movie they did. I think it worked. And obviously Justice League was a bit of a letdown. And now if you watch Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League, it is a very different world and a very different scenario. And I think it's worth the 4 hours, whatever it is. I watched it and I really enjoyed it. It was much better. But, hey ho. Just some random ones that when I was thinking of this video idea I found, and I thought, oh, I'll try it in. 13 hours, the Secret Soldiers of Benghazi, or I think it's something like that, with John Krasinski. One of my favourite movies, like easily top 10. I really enjoy that movie. Like, I'm pretty sure it's based on a true story, and like it's really powerful. I really enjoy it. The Gerard Butler like Fallen movies, like London's Fallen, Olympus Has Fallen, Angel Has Fallen. I think they're excellent movies. Like, I've watched them quite a few times. Amazing movies. And like the first Taken movie, excellent movie. I think everyone can agree. Watched it quite a few times. I think they created a really good movie with that. And my all-time favourite, like I've mentioned before, Hot Fuzz. I've watched it probably in the last year alone to the 20 times, easily, this year alone, because it is the undoubtedly greatest British-made movie of all time. Now, I know you've got like James Bond's in there, which I know you've mentioned this, and I love James Bond, but like, you've got action, you've got comedy, you've got stupidity, and it just built the best movie ever. The most quotable movie ever, I'll be honest with you. But looking at how long this video is already, I think we'll move on to TV show talks in another Ramble video. If you guys want me to do like ASMR, movie reviews if you think my opinion is worth having, which probably isn't. But I do like to be quite on it with, like, when I watch movies, I like to pay attention. Obviously, I know I've only given you a very tiny proportion of the movies I've watched and what I like, and this is all popular stuff, but that I want it to be popular so everyone knows what I'm talking about. But if you want some more, I've got a lot more I could talk about for a lot longer, so you just let me know, and I'd be more than willing to do a after thought of watching a different movie that I've not seen for ages, or a movie I've never seen, and I'll do a quick ASMR review of it. If you just leave them in the comments below, I'd be more than happy to do that. So, a TV show ramble video will certainly be made soon. I will keep you guys in the loop for that. There should also be a couple more role plays being made soon, so keep around and stick around for those, because hopefully you'll enjoy them. But yeah, hopefully someone made it this far in this video. I'm sorry it's been so disjointed, and I've only noticed recently that I left my screen on behind the camera and my glasses have been blue this entire time, and I can only apologise. Now if you've just been listening to this, then I hope you've enjoyed. But please do subscribe, comment and like, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye now.